for that. Okay, there we go. All right, self-doubt. That's what we're talking about. You missed the first 2 minutes, but that's okay. So basically, I'll tell you a story. Yesterday, I was talking with a good friend and coach of mine, and it's funny. We hadn't talked about what was going on in our businesses in the last like few days, but then when we came together, we're like, oh, I'm really doubting my capabilities. You know, I'm just so upset, and I just want to be a good coach, but I struggle with that. And then after we talked, we're like, actually, we're doing really well, and we're enjoying this, and it's fun. And like, it kind of brought things back into perspective, actually talking it out and realizing like, oh, we're okay. Like, we don't need to doubt ourselves. You can't compare yourself to any other coach in this industry because that will eat you alive. And I know that's one of the biggest things. When you start out as a new coach, you see all these people around you like, oh, rank advancing. I don't even know what rank advancement means. I don't even know I don't even know what to do to get to diamond, let alone get to diamond. So you get a little bit overwhelmed, right? So that's another area that we experience doubt as new coaches. We doubt our capabilities, or we doubt in our ability to grow as coaches. But one of the biggest things I can tell you is we all have to start somewhere. We have to start with a small team with only a handful of challengers. That's the way it begins. But the consistency over time and the patience that it takes to see it through the slower months is why I am where I am today. And it's really difficult. You know, this job it takes a lot of confidence. And that's why we talk about personal development all the time. So when it comes to personal development, it's key. It's so important. And engaging in your group, finding a success partner, engaging with coaches around you, that's really important because they're going to lift you higher. If I hadn't talked to my friend yesterday that's a coach and she didn't say like, oh, like, it's fine. Like, you did good this week. It was a good week for you. And I said the same thing to her. Like, you know, you're doing really well. Like, think of where you were last year. You know, you're doing really well. If it wasn't for that conversation, I'd probably still like be like, oh, kind of bummed about my week that I had. So it's really important to surround yourselves and engage with coaches. We have those downline pages for a reason. It's for you guys to, you know, kind of meet people and brainstorm with people. And I know in our group, even, you know, people have branched off and started their own challenge groups together, and they do all these things, which is amazing. And you'll notice in your own business, when you start to do that, you feel a bit better about this because you're surrounded by people who get it, who truly understand, you know, your struggles, but also really understand there we go. Who really understand, you know, what you're going through. So it's easy to fall into a pattern of self-doubt, but it's also easy to take steps to prevent it or to overcome it. Surrounding yourself with fellow coaches is one of my biggest recommendations because immediately after I had that conversation yesterday, I felt so much better. It's like, okay, yeah, I enjoy doing this. This is fun. Like, this is why I do it. I'm actually doing very well. I can't compare myself to anyone else because I'm me. You know, I'm taking the steps in my business to grow. These are the behaviors that I'm doing. These are the things I'm not doing. So I can't say, oh, I'm not where Anita Myron is. Well, I also don't spend 20 plus hours a day working my business, right? So I kind of have to put it into perspective. You get out what you put in. And if you put in couple days a week of here and there, you can't expect a lot, right? So your expectations have to meet your input. So if you're willing to put in the time and the effort, that will show up tenfold. You will see that happen, but you can't expect major results with just very minimal behavior. Not saying that it has to be complex, not saying that it has to be difficult or super time consuming, but the effort and the time has to be put in order to hit those goals. Who here has, like, at one point or another in your coaching business been like, I'm not sure that I can keep doing this. I don't know if it's for me and I don't know if I'm successful. Anyone else feel that way? Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of nice to have a call where we're all like, I have days where I feel like I suck and like I'm not very good at this and I want to grow and I want it to work and some days it's not. And, you know, what I can tell you is after 2 years, this isn't like the first time that I felt this way where I'm like, oh, I'm not where I want to be. That's not the case at all. I've had that like probably 2 months into my coaching. I felt like that, like, oh my gosh, these coaches are like so amazing and they're doing so well. They have huge followings. They have so many people. They're so creative in their posting. I can't do that. But instead of thinking that way, I took inspiration from them instead. I was like, okay, I'm not going to copy what they do, but I'm going to learn from them. I'm going to follow these top coaches. I'm going to see how many times a day are they posting. Okay, she posted 4 times a day. What was she posting about in those 4 times a day? Okay, she posted about her kids once, like something about her life. Oh, she posted about the workout that she did and kind of explained how she liked it and what went on. Nutrition, she posted a recipe. And the last one of the day, she talked about loving yourself. So I took that to heart. So instead of comparing myself to the leaders, I really dove in and followed them and learned from them, because that was really important to me. If I wanted to be as successful as them, I needed to duplicate the behavior. Now, not entirely, I wasn't doing these major webinars, and I didn't have a fancy blog, and I didn't have all these things, but I knew that what I could see, at least on their Facebook page and on their Instagram, and how they were reacting to comments and messaging people, I knew that those were things that I could do. That helped boost my confidence, because once you get really active on posting and people recognize you and see you, then you become a little bit more confident in it, because people are liking your stuff. Coaches on your fellow team and the downline are liking it and getting good feedback. So that helps boost your confidence as well. And one of the things that I had trouble with when I started out as a coach was the confidence to click post. You make a crafty post, you have a selfie, and you sit there and you're like, so-and-so from high school is going to make fun of me. I don't want to post it. Or my coworker is such a bag. She's going to say something nasty at work. I don't want to do that. And I've been there, and I know how that feels. And I know how easy it is to be like, okay, I'm not posting that. I don't want to post that. Or I don't want to post my results, or I don't want to post a picture of my body. I've been there, and I know what that feels like. But I also know the opposite of how good it feels when someone messages you saying, thank you so much for sharing your journey. I can relate to you. And whether or not a sale comes from it, that's besides the point. The fact that someone will say to you, you've made my day better, or thank you for that recipe, that helps so much, or thank you for your kind words, whatever it is, just know that you're making a difference. And that is worth more than maybe a catty remark from your sister-in-law, right? So I think that that's what we have to remember, why we do this, why we help people. It's because we have the ability to change a life. And I know we're not surgeons, we're not, doing this crazy philanthropic work, but social media is really prevalent in everyone's day-to-day life. People are at a red light, they're scrolling Facebook. They're on their lunch break at work, they're scrolling Facebook. In the morning before they get up, they're in bed scrolling Facebook. So if you have the capability of just giving them a little dose of happiness or insight or inspiration, that's pretty cool and that's powerful. You have the ability to reach people in a way that a lot of companies or businesses can't. So you also put a really human aspect to it. So overcoming that feeling of, I can't do this because someone will make fun of me, you have to get over that, because those people do not matter. You have to remember that. Like when I think of the guy from high school that was teasing me about when I signed up to be a Beachbody coach, I thought, wait a minute, like this isn't someone that I would like even wish happy birthday on Facebook, let alone in person. This isn't someone I would call and be like, hey, I'm home. Do you want to go for a beer? Sure, miss hanging out with you. No, like not at all. So I was like, you know what? Probably just going to delete this guy from Facebook, because A, I knew him in high school. It was a million years ago. And you're being rude. Like, no, I'm sorry. You don't get to sit by and watch me grow and be successful in this. So I deleted him. And you know how good that felt? Oh my gosh. It was just like, oh, I can post whatever I want and he's not going to say anything. And he's probably going to be like trying to find me because now he's curious in this little reality show that he liked watching. And then he'll be like, oh, she deleted me. I shouldn't have been such a loser. So definitely, if it means getting rid of people on your news feed or on your Facebook to make you feel more confident and comfortable and like it's a place of positivity rather than a source of stress, do it. And I can't tell you enough how good it feels. You can also, a little tip, you can filter who sees your post each time you make a post. You can go, who sees this? Go to privacy settings, friends, accept, and type in like 2 names of people. Let's say if you were posting about, I don't know, maybe something to do with, you were alluding to not liking the 9 to 5, but you had 2 people on your Facebook that you worked with and you didn't really want them to see it. You can block them from those posts. And I do that all the time with family members. Actually, I have like younger cousins on there. And if I'm posting like full body posts, I like make sure that they don't see it. Cause with younger girls, I just didn't want them to see that. So anyways, things like that. You can filter who sees the content on your Facebook page. That will help you feel more confident in your post, knowing that, okay, this is good. The right audience is seeing this. Perfect. Great. And then as you grow in this business, you are going to experience self-doubt. It's just going to happen. And it's the nature of any business. And especially in ours where we're the boss, so we're in control, right? We can't blame anyone else for what's going on around us. And sometimes I find that difficult because I want to be like, oh, my boss was such a jerk and he didn't give me all the opportunities I could have. No, I'm the boss, so I'm in control. So I can't blame anyone but me, because I have all the tools. I have an online office. I have exactly the things that my coach had to get started. So I have to really look inside and figure out, okay, what do I need to do to get past this little hurdle that I'm experiencing right now? Does it mean that I need to look back in the last week and see how many people have I actually invited to a challenge group? And I know darn well that my coach, who's very successful, invites like 30 plus people a day. Okay. So that's something I'm like, oh, okay. So she's like kind of a baller. Like she's like doing good. She's very successful. So I need to think, okay, well, what do I need to do to hit my goals in my business? Maybe it's not invite 30 people a day, but maybe it's send out 10 invitations, right? I can do that. It's simply copy and pasting and adding in a little bit of personal information to it. So I can do that. So we talk about a power hour. We talk about, a tracker. Some people's brains aren't wired that way to have trackers and papers and like documents. And I'm not one of those people. I get overwhelmed like that. I need to keep it simple. So what I do in my phone, I'll show you exactly how I run my business. I have in the notes section on my phone, I don't know if it'll even show up, but either way, the first one there, the title of the note is May Invites. So any person that I've invited and had like even a conversation with, or someone that said, no, I can't right now, their name gets put on that list. So I'll put down their name, and then beside it, I'll say followed up with last month. This person thinking about it will get back to me. This person, I sent the details, no response yet. This person, she's interested in coaching and wants to sign up with a challenge pack. It's just the notes on my iPhone, not even an app. It's just the notes. And then, so that's one of the like notes I have is May invites. The next one I have is called challenge advertisement text. So in my downline anyways, I, put down, I'll sometimes post, like if I find a really good invitation, like the verbiage from a top coach, I'll copy it and paste it into my downline and say, hey, this is really good. Like this one's really good. You guys should think about using this or modifying it to you, but this is a really good way to advertise for Challenge Pack. So in that one, I have all the ways that I advertise for challenges. And then I'll have it separated by like a line. And then I'll have some that I've made up, but I always have one there. So let's say if it's a slower day, I'm not feeling creative and I'm just grumpy, at least if I do my workout, I get a selfie taken and I look, okay, this would be perfect. I'll use this one, this advertisement text. And then I put that there so that it's just easier, right? You want to work smarter, not harder. That's one thing that people often get discouraged about and really down on themselves in this business is I'm not creative enough. These people are thinking of these amazing posts, crafty posts, really good verbiage. And I'm over here like, want to join my group? Like just don't overthink it. Use what you see around you. If you see me post a challenge group invite on Facebook and you're like, oh, that's so smart. I'll never be like, hi, you use the same verbiage as me, because Janelle Summers could probably say the same thing to me. Like you use my verbiage, and I'd be like, sorry, girl, it was just really good. Use a different image, change it up so it sounds like you're saying it. Change it up so that you can make it your own, but just know that the content is always available to you and it's all there. Don't work harder, work smarter. That's another way that you can start feeling like a stronger coach, is by making it easier for yourself. You have all this content available so that you don't feel like you're failing when you can't think of something. So just really use what you see around you. If you have a coach, let's say on this call, and they posted their results from 22-minute hardcore, and you're like, those are really good results. I didn't really see those kind of results, but would you be okay? Message them and say, would you be okay if I featured you on Tuesday for Transformation Tuesday? chances are they'll say, sure, just tag me in it. That's all I ask. Isn't that cool? Like, we are here to help one another. And there's a reason why we always say, like, team full heart, team just keep pushing, right? We're not in this to just better ourselves. We're in this to help one another. So that's really important. And then another one I have is when people ask me for more information about like a challenge group, if I've personally sent a message to them and invited them, it says more information templates. So I can copy and paste what, like in my words, what the 21-day fix is. I can copy and paste in my words what 22-minute hardcore is, and copy and paste what Shakeology does for me. So I have that there, so I work smarter, not harder, because when you get all these messages and then you're like, I don't know what to say, and you're like trying to contact your coach, like, someone wants to know more information, what do I say? At least you have it there, right? You say it once, then copy and paste it, and then it's down there. And you can always edit it and revamp it, but at least you have it at your fingertips. Because a coach that feels confident in what they're doing is going to feel more confident in their business and just as a leader as a whole. And don't think that I've, developed everything, or Virginia and I have developed everything from scratch. We haven't. We've been taught by the best. And that's why we ripple it down to you guys so that it's available. And so we just always feed off one another. We learn from top coaches around us. So it's not that we stay up till 4 a.m. crafting these amazing posts and we learn about how to take selfies. No, just surround yourself by top coaches and learn. That's what you got to do, and just really soak that up. And then other than that, I do have a thing on my phone with links so that if someone messages you and wants to order from you, you can feel confident and be like, okay, this is the right link. You have it there. I don't really use this one anymore in the notes because I use that BB Links app. So that really helps. So just having content available at your fingertips makes you a more confident coach, and just feel like, okay, this is easy. This part shouldn't be hard. This is simple. So then it's done. And then as you grow in this business, there's rank advancements. You'll hear about us talking about, Virginia's 5-star, or there's someone went emerald this week, or there's, a diamond coach. And first off, you might be like, okay, what is that? I don't know. And sometimes, for me, I hate admitting that I don't know something. And I'll be like, I'm going to YouTube this. So I'll YouTube something and be like, what is a diamond coach in Beachbody? And then you'll find all these videos and be like, okay, yeah, I know. I don't have to ask or admit to anyone I don't know what this is. So that's kind of how I started out. Or what is a challenge group? What are these things? Because when I first started, I kind of wanted to know these things ahead of time and didn't want to sound stupid, which is so dumb. Your coach would never be like, oh my gosh, you don't understand this business the day you signed up. What's wrong with you? So that's not the case at all. But I always utilize YouTube. I find is the best because I need to see videos and hear the voice. Reading a big document just doesn't quite do it for me. So being able to, access that information, and you'll feel better about it. So when you hear people rank advancing, you're like, okay, I kind of want to do that, but I haven't, my business isn't growing. I don't hit Success Club every month necessarily, or, I invite people, but no one replies. We've all been there. I know what that feels like. And that happens to me to this day, 2 years in. But the difference is I'm still here plugging away at that, because darn well that after a really bad week or a quiet week or crickets, sure enough, those seeds that you planted are going to sprout one day. So the people that didn't respond to your invite, the people that cricketed you after you sent them how much it cost, that's okay. That happens. And some of us in this call might have been that person to our coach. We might have been the one who was like, I'm not responding because I don't want to do this. So it's going to be easier for me just to not respond. That's real. That happens. People get nervous. They don't want to say, I can't afford it, or I just don't want to spend that kind of money right now. People don't want to say that. So don't worry. But the fact that you invited is the most important, because you created that line of communication for them, so that 3 months down the road, when they're feeling down in the dumps and finally you know what, I need to do this for me, they know who to come to, because you invited them. But if you didn't, they might search for another coach on their Facebook page, right? They might be like, I have a few other friends on here that are that are Beachbody coaches, and I want to be a part of what they're offering. So this one hasn't invited me, but this one is always posting, so I'm going to go with that one. So she must be really active in the business. So keep that in mind, that a ghost call or a no show or just no response, that's not necessarily a bad thing. that's going to be something that comes back full circle down the road. And I know Hillary and I talk about this all the time, that, you know, what we're experiencing right now is a product of 3 weeks ago. What was I doing 3 weeks or a month ago? Was I inviting like crazy? I wasn't. I had like a really terrible week personally with our family. So I just kind of shut off my business for a while. So the fact that I'm having a really slow week this week, that's kind of anticipated. That's really expected, actually. But once you see that there's this pattern that, you know, when you are inviting, you're posting a lot, you're going to get a wave of people coming to you. So that will help boost your confidence when people start like coming in like, hey, like I want to join your team. I want to join your challenge. So just know that the kind of the ghosty, vacant, like people that don't message you, don't take offense to it. They just are too shy to say why they can't. And usually it'll be for financial reasons at the time, or they're embarrassed and they don't want to admit that, you know, that they have a problem with, you know, lack of exercise or poor nutrition. So just know that that's coming from a place of nervousness and shyness. It's not that they think you're insane or that you're like crazy, because they would probably like message you and rant and say that you were nuts if they did. So you're probably fine. So in this business, you get caught up in, you know, rank advancements, and it's all very exciting and it's a part of growth. You have to understand that setbacks happen to all of us, every single one of us. If you ask Virginia and I if we've had smooth sailing since we hit diamond, oh my gosh, it's been like crazy. We've gone up, we've gone down, we've gone sideways, we've gone upside down, like it's crazy. But that's the nature of this business. You know, it fluctuates, right? You get to a point where you hit like an income level, and that doesn't really change. But with rank, it can be, oh my gosh, it can be crazy. It changes all the time. But that's why we keep going. That's why we keep doing what we do, so that there will be a time where, okay, well, now for me, I don't worry about losing diamond rank. There was a time when I did. I was like, oh, I don't want to lose diamond rank. I don't want to lose diamond rank. But I kept growing. I kept building slow and steady, slow and steady. Then I locked in 1 star. I'm like, oh, well, diamond is solid now. Diamond is there. It's good, but that took time. Diamond took me a year, and guess how long 1 star took me? Another year. It took me another year. And then after that, 2 star and 3 star happened only a few weeks after that. So it starts happening a little quicker. Those first few hurdles are the hardest to hit. But just know that we have all gone through the period of, oh my gosh, I'm diamond now. I don't want to lose diamond because I like getting these bonuses. They're really awesome. And they're like, I love this income. But dropping in rank doesn't mean like, well, tossing in the towel, I'm done. Over it, you know, because that's such a loser's mentality, you know, and that's something from sports, right? Just like saying like, okay, I'm done. I'm over it. I don't want to be a part of this anymore. It's just something that you have to realize is natural, and it's a progression. And if you look, Lindsay Matway has a really interesting statistic. Over time, I believe she's had something like 85 diamonds, and the amount that are active right now is like 30. So a lot of people give up, right? They just say, no, it's not for me. They hit diamond and you think like, wow, like that's amazing. Some people just don't. So don't be discouraged by dropping in rank, because if I could tell you how many times I went from like diamond, ruby, emerald, ruby, diamond, ruby, diamond, ruby, diamond, 1 star, ruby, what? And then diamond, 1 star, 1 star, 1 star, 1 star, 1 star, 3 star. And guess what? Next week, it'll be 1 star. But then the week after, it might be 3 again. So it's just like, it's exciting. You have to embrace it and realize that doubting yourself because of minor hiccups or changes and fluctuations in your business, or if a coach cancels or a customer is mad, that's the real world. Like, you can't have rainbows and peach fuzz all day long. That would be amazing. And I feel like that happens more often than not. But don't let setbacks change the way you view this business. I want it to fuel you. For me, knowing that, you know, a drop in rank is coming up or something bad, like I had a coach cancel, instead I think, how can I make my coach's experience better? How can I attract to my tribe a stronger coach or someone who wants what I want, you know? Because how nice is it to work with people who have the same vision or the same work ethic or the same ideals that you do? So I think, okay, well, I need to share more of that. I need to share who I am, what my team represents. So that's something you guys can do, is share what you're about, what you want your team to be about. And you think, I don't have a team. Well, not yet, you don't, but you got to start somewhere, right? And you got to express who you are and what you want your team to become. So it's easy to fall in a path of self-doubt in any business, but I feel like especially when you are in control, it's hard not to blame yourself for everything and get down on yourself. But just know, if it makes you feel better, that everyone who is successful in this business has overcome great like periods of self-doubt and worry of not being good enough, or, you know, feeling like, oh, well, I might have to toss in the towel. And all I can say is I made a post in December, like a year ago. I was going to quit Beachbody because I was so frustrated because I didn't hit a goal that I wanted to hit. I was still earning like income each week and I was still helping people change their lives, but I lost sight of that. I got so caught up in catching up to other coaches around me and trying to be someone I wasn't. I got so caught up in it that I forgot why I started this to begin with. I started this so that I could work less as a dental hygienist. That hadn't changed in that December. That didn't change. What did change was my perception of success and my outlook on coaching. And I got really caught up with other coaches around me being like so successful. And I thought, why aren't I there? But then I said, okay, I'm going to look at what I'm doing. Well, I'm not doing anything. I'm not inviting people. I'm not doing these vital behaviors. So once I changed my mentality, changed my outlook, it made it better. So if you're ever feeling a period of self-doubt, reach out to a coach. Reach out to your upline coach. Reach out to a coach that's on your team with you, that you confide in and that you think will help build you up and make you feel better about this business. But personal development is key. And I'm not much of a reader per se. I'm really busy, so I find that having audiobooks playing while I'm cooking or while I'm doing dishes, listening to podcasts when I'm in the tub, that works for me. That's what works for my life. I don't have time to like sit down for an hour and just be like, all right, let's read. No, that's not how I work. Too busy. So find what works for you, even if it's YouTube videos. Oh my gosh. Or like follow The Rock on Instagram. That's such a random suggestion, but I just love him so much. Like actually, he's like the most motivational person ever. So he's so good.
Kristen, I just wanted to say something because like when you were talking, this like kept like sticking out to me and it like really fits for me. And the word I'm thinking of is like resilience. Mm-hmm. So like the ability to like bounce back from a setback, because like you were saying, I have dropped in rank, got back up there, drop up. Like it's continuously like these challenges. And I've had coaches quit or coaches who just kind of give up on the business and they decide it's not for them. And I always say the only difference between someone more successful and me, or like, you know, them and me, or whoever you compare yourself to, is time. If you put those behaviors in, but then also the R word, which is resilience, because there's been times where I dropped in rank and I'm like, surrender, like this is not for me. Like, you know, I can't do this. How am I going to get back up to that rank? Like there's no bites right now. I have only a couple Success Club points, and resilience is what pushes people through. Mm-hmm. And I just find that when I can challenge my thoughts about like, I'm no good at this, or I'm not going to get back up to that, when I can challenge my thoughts, then it really puts it in perspective. Like you were saying before, like sometimes when I have this pressure on myself, I just express gratitude for what I do have. Mm-hmm. And so I think that we can get caught up in putting pressure on ourselves. And then when we don't, you know, meet that goal, or when we don't fulfill whatever that was, then, you know, it's easier to kind of drop off. But if we can continue to be resilient and be grateful for what we do have, whether that's signing, you know, X amount of challengers since we started, or maybe that's a certain income, or whatever the case is, being grateful for what we do have. Because I can be kind of greedy. Like I have to admit, that's one of like my character defects, is I always want more. And I kind of have the tendency to like minimize what I do have and always be searching and longing for more. But if I don't take the time to really celebrate what I do have, then I'm taking it for granted. So resilience is what has really like fueled me and continuing to push, even though sometimes I feel like surrendering.
Yeah. And for me, when I started, I started out just as a discount coach, wanting a discount on my shakes. And even if I just go back to that day, the reason that I signed up was because the products worked for me. and I found it valuable and worth my time. So let's say all of this goes away, and then I think, well, but I'd still probably get the shakes because they make me feel so much better from a digestive point of view for my health. But like the community that you're surrounded by, I'm what they call an extroverted introvert. I'm really comfortable and funny and silly around the people that I love and I'm comfortable with. But like other people, I like get weird and I don't know how to use my hands and I don't know what to say and I don't like meeting new people. But Beachbody has helped me so much, like gain confidence. I feel like I belong. And, you know, as you get older, I feel like you lose a sense of identity. And for me, I'm not married. All my friends are married. I don't have kids. All my friends have kids, you know, well, other than Hillary and I, we relate. But, you know, it's hard to get caught up in like, well, where do I fit in all of this? I'm just like that aunt that like comes over and like loves wine and like, that's just like, that's who I am. But I'm like, oh, I don't have an identity. Like, I don't know like what I do. Like, I'm not in like school sports anymore. I'm not in college anymore. I'm just like 9 to 5. And then I come home and then it's like, well, now what, you know? So this has provided me with such a creative outlet, a social outlet. Oh my goodness. And like so many friendships have come from this and travel opportunities. I'm healthier than I've ever been. So I think, okay, when I'm down in the dumps about, you know, a rank advancement or comparing myself to other coaches, think about why I started. And I'm doing pretty darn good. If Kirsten from 2014 in February saw Kirsten from May 2016, she'd be like, girlfriend, good for you. Oh my God, look what you've done. Wow, you've accomplished stuff. Like, that's amazing. You look good. Like, whereas 2016, Kirsten's like, I could be better. You know, no, you're doing good. Like, you're doing awesome. So that's kind of my little rant on overcoming self-doubt, just because it has been such a fresh topic for me. And I wanted you guys to know that no matter if you're a brand new coach or a 5-star diamond coach, you doubt, and it's normal and it's okay. But the difference between a coach that quits and a coach that sticks it out is just that you waited and you were patient and that you were willing to just push through a slow period to see what happens and how you come out on the other side. And every single time that I've had that conversation with myself in the last 2 years and I overcome this and I make it through the other side, I feel like, oh, thank goodness I pushed through because I'm at a better place now and I'm actually rank advancing and I hit SC10 this month. Like, wow, good thing I didn't toss in the towel. So just know that it's normal. And does anyone have any questions or specific things they want to talk about regarding self-doubt? Anybody? No?
I have a question.
Yeah, of course.
Lots of times, like I see you guys posting, and you guys will do like your first month earnings, and then maybe your 6-month, 1 year, 2 year kind of thing.
Yep.
And then lots of times, other coaches are saying like, oh, they're really not comparing themselves to other coaches because they might have been like a slow business builder or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I still see when they do post like their first month's income, it was like $300 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, hey, this is like my 6th or 7th month, and I've only probably hit that like once. And I've only sold like 8 challenge packs or something in that time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of wondering, like, is there anybody like as slow as me that's been successful?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Totally. Lots of coaches like at the beginning too will I'm trying to think of specifically a person who was like that. And I want to like message them. I'll have to look at
I am.
Me.
Yeah, Sarah. Yeah.
Yeah, it took me so long to hit Success Club. And the first time I did, I signed up as a coach in February, and then I hit Success Club in April. And that's the month that I went Emerald because I signed up my mom and Harley. So 4 of those points were from me signing my husband and my mom. So, and I made like $300 that month. So I was like, woohoo! And then I didn't make Success Club again until probably like September. It took me so long to hit Success Club again, but I just like pushed through and I kept doing it. And then all of a sudden, last month I made $1,000 in a month, which is like amazing for me because I never thought I'd be there. Like, it's been on my goal board since I signed up as a coach, make $1,000 in a month. Mm-hmm. So it happens. You need to be
consistent, because
And I think it's also important to kind of keep in mind where the income comes from, because I've heard it a million times. You guys probably have too, where like regardless of where you're at in the business, usually your commission can kind of stay around the same. Like people who are making, thousands or whatever, they're not selling like 100 challenge packs a month. We need to keep that in mind. A lot of income comes from the team bonus cycles. That's number one. So that's why there's such a push to go Emerald, because once you go Emerald, your team and all the volume that it's creating, that's how you make income. So if someone's not Emerald yet, then your 100% of your income will come from commission, right? Another factor, and I was actually talking to Kirsten about this the other day, is I have, 20 some coaches, but there's only one that I get the matching bonus from. Do you guys know what that is? The matching bonus is you get 10% of your PS coaches' team bonus cycles. So for example, if someone has, let's say, 10 PS coaches that are like, let's say Emerald, they're getting bonuses, they're working the business, they're successful, they will get 10% of those 10 people's, and that adds up. For right now, I only have one coach who I'm getting that from. So it's important for us to, we can compare the big lump sum, and that can be scary. It's like, oh my God, they must be hitting like Success Club 50 every month. That is not the case. We need to understand kind of where that income is coming from. There's commission, there's a bunch of different ways, but there's the three main ones that I can kind of see are commission, team bonus cycles, and then also matching bonuses. So if you're not Emerald, or you don't have a team that's like under you that's, doing really well, that will also affect your income or lack thereof. So for me, that's important when I'm comparing myself to Kirsten. I'm like, oh my God, like you're doing so well. And then it's like, okay, but like I only have one person that I'm getting that matching bonus from, and that does make a big difference.
Yeah, it totally makes a difference, because last month, like I said, I made a lot more than I did April last year. But I also have a team beneath me, and I struggled to get Success Club last month. Struggled until the very last day, but I still made a whole lot more than I did last year when I hit Success Club, right? So it depends on who's under you and how big your team is, for sure.
Mm-hmm. And the nice thing is that like always makes me feel better about this particular style of multi-level marketing is just because I sign up a coach doesn't mean I'm going to get anything. I need to be a good leader. I need to provide training and guidance and love and virtual high fives. I need to be there for them. And if you're willing to put in the time and the effort to grow a team, and don't think that you're like, I don't even know how to like run my own business, let alone help like other people run a business. That's okay. That's what leadership trainings are for. That's what, stepping out of your comfort zone and taking part in Emerald training and Diamond training, that's what we prepare you for. So that when the time comes to have a team, you feel like, yep, I'm a good leader. I can do this. And like I said, remember how I said I don't like to admit that I don't know something? If a coach would come and say like, hey, what's this? Or what do I need to do for this? And I'd be like, YouTube, watch a little video and be like, you need to do this. And they're like, you're so smart. And like, I know. But like, it's just because I take initiative and I want to be a really good leader. So just because you don't have a team right now doesn't mean that you can't prepare yourself for that in the future. Because if you're on this call, I'm guessing that you probably want to make an income. Not everyone wants to do full time. Not everyone wants to retire and be a Beachbody coach. That's not everyone's goal in life. And that's totally okay. I work 3 days a week as a dental hygienist. I found a job that I love. So I'm sticking with it. I don't need to necessarily, but I found a really good balance, and it levels me out and I like it. But just know that there's something for everyone in this business, every lifestyle, every no matter what your goal is, you can achieve success in this business, because everyone's definition of success is going to be different. But you need to realize that it's not going to be peach fuzz and rainbows the entire time. There will be some valleys and pitfalls, and you'll think like, am I good enough to do this? The coaches that are good enough are the ones that stick around to find out. That's honestly my biggest advice. And I am not a huge Success Club earner. I don't earn Success Club 25. That's not me. I'm like 10, 12, perfect, good, yes, solid. And then this month, guess what? This 3-star diamond coach, guess how many Success Club points she has? 0. Oh my God. So guess who's been inviting like 35 people a day? Me. Why? Because I have a goal. I have a non-negotiable goal in my business, hit Success Club. And if that means that I only help 3 people this month and hit Success Club 6, I will be happy, because that is how I measure success in my business. So you have to just know what defines success for you and be okay with it, and willing to put in the work to overcome the hurdles. That's all I'm saying. Okay, we've been on the call for 45 minutes. I've been ranting. My throat is dry. And does anyone have any questions? I feel like, did it make sense what I was saying? Yeah, it came across? Okay. I'm not even going to watch the recording, because I'll be like, oh, Kirsten, slow down. But if anyone has any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Y'all are good?
I just want to say that what stands out to me from the call is just to like not put pressure on yourself to be at a certain level at a certain time. Everyone's time is different. You can't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 10. You know, we've heard that before. That's what really like what stands out to me from this call, and just continue to do what you're doing and be consistent and do those behaviors, and then it will happen. But to not put pressure, you know, or expectation on yourself to be at a certain place at a certain time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because you all are rock stars. You all have something so unique to offer. And don't think that because you don't look like Lindsay Matway and have a pool and a dog that's adorable, you know, that you can't reach success, because you can, because you're your own brand. And that's what puts you at an advantage. You're you. You're different. You're unique. So embrace that and share it, and you'll be just fine. Okay, guys, we will wrap up the call. Thank you so much for sharing your Sunday mornings with us. I love it. It's like my favorite day of the week. And if you have any questions about this, or just want to talk more one-on-one about something you're dealing with, I'd be more than happy to help you guys. So you can send me a private message if you want to chat, okay? But otherwise, have a great day and kick butt this week, and hopefully we all hit Success Club. Take care.